For over 130 years, only one man in American history had ever won the presidency, lost it, and then won it again years later. That man was Grover Cleveland. He remained the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms until Donald Trump achieved that same feat in 2024. Cleveland was not a polished orator. He was not a war hero. He was a blunt, overweight lawyer from Buffalo, New York, who became famous for one thing above all others. He refused to compromise his principles, even when it cost him politically. And he used the veto more than any president before him. He returned millions of acres of public land that had been stolen by powerful interests. He fought against corruption, against wasteful spending, and against the idea that the federal government existed to hand out favors. This is the story of Grover Cleveland, a man who believed that doing what is right matters more than being popular, and who proved that character still has a place in American politics. Welcome to Faith and Freedom, the presidents who built America. Stephen Grover Cleveland was born in 1837 in Caldwell, New Jersey, the son of a Presbyterian minister. His father died when Grover was 16, forcing him to leave school and help support his family. He eventually studied law and moved to Buffalo, New York, where he built a reputation as a hardworking and honest attorney. Cleveland entered politics relatively late. In 1881, he was elected mayor of Buffalo. He quickly gained attention for fighting corruption and vetoing wasteful spending. 1 year later, he was elected governor of New York. And as governor, he continued his reputation as a reformer who was willing to stand against his own party when he believed that it was wrong. His rise was remarkable. In just 4 years, he went from being a relatively unknown lawyer to the Democratic nominee for president. And Cleveland won the presidency in 1884 in one of the most bitter and personal campaigns in American history. Once in office, he governed exactly as he had promised, with stubborn integrity. He used the veto power more aggressively than any president before him. He vetoed hundreds of private pension bills for Civil War veterans when he believed the claims were fraudulent. And he famously vetoed a bill that would have given $10,000 in seed grain to drought-stricken farmers in Texas, writing that the federal aid in such cases encourages the expectation of parental care on the part of the government and weakens the sturdiness of our national character. He also forced powerful railroads to return over 81 million acres of public land that had illegally been claimed by them. And he signed the Interstate Commerce Act of 1887, the first federal law attempting to regulate the railroads. Cleveland believed the federal government should be limited, honest, and focused on the common good rather than special interest. Despite his record of integrity, Cleveland lost his re-election bid in 1888 to Benjamin Harrison. He won the popular vote, but he lost the Electoral College. 4 years later, in 1892, he ran again, and he won. He became the only president in American history until Donald Trump to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. His return to the White House would prove far more difficult than his first term. Cleveland's second term was dominated by economic crisis. The Panic of 1893 struck shortly after he had taken office. The nation faced bank failures, unemployment, and a severe drain on the Treasury's gold reserves. Cleveland believed the root of the problem was the Sherman Silver Purchase Act, which was draining gold from the Treasury. Against strong opposition from his own party, he forced the repeal of the act. He also worked with bankers to replenish the nation's gold reserves. When the Pullman strike broke out in 1894, Cleveland sent federal troops to ensure that the mail trains could run. He believed that the government had a duty to maintain order and protect the interstate commerce. These decisions were deeply unpopular with many in his own party, but Cleveland acted according to what he believed was right, not what was politically convenient. Grover Cleveland was shaped by his Presbyterian upbringing. Though he did not speak often about his personal faith in public, those who knew him described him as a man of deep moral conviction and personal honesty. He believed that good government depended on the character of the people and its leaders. In one notable address, he said this: "All must admit that the reception of the teachings of Christianity results in the purest patriotism, in the most scrupulous fidelity to public trust, and in the best type of citizenship." Cleveland's greatest strength was his refusal to be bought or bullied. He was willing to lose elections and friendships rather than compromise what he believed was right. In an era of the machine politics and widespread corruption, he stood out as a man who took his oath of office very seriously. Grover Cleveland's presidency offers a powerful reminder that integrity still matters in public life. We live in a time when many leaders are more concerned about popularity, polling, and political advantage than doing what is right. Cleveland shows us that true leadership sometimes requires standing alone. He also reminds us that limited government and fiscal responsibility are not new ideas. Long before modern debates over spending and debt, Cleveland fought against the idea that the federal government should become the source of endless favors and benefits. His story challenges us to ask, are we willing to do what is right, even when it's unpopular? Are we willing to say no to what is politically easy in order to protect what is morally necessary? Grover Cleveland was not a perfect man, and his presidency was not without mistakes. But he left a legacy of honesty and courage that stands out in the Gilded Age. He proved that a man of principle could rise to the highest office twice, and that character is still one of the most powerful forces in American politics. I want to thank you so much for watching Faith and Freedom, the Presidents Who Built America. If this story has encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to be reminded that doing what is right still matters. I pray that you have a wonderful week. God bless the United States of America. Bye for now.
3, 2, 1, talk to me.